Oh, this is so cool. I just think there's so many storylines here to pay attention to. World Series, Big Apple versus Tinseltown, Bronx Bombers versus Dem Bums, the Pinstripes against Dodger Blue, Broadway versus Hollywood, Subway versus the Freeway, 27 rings versus a team that's got 7 rings. One franchise has won 41 pennants, the other has won 25. And historically, who can forget Casey versus Smokey? Casey Stengel versus Walter Alston. Going to be a great World Series. It was really interesting. Media day early today, both managers meeting with the media in Los Angeles before Game 1 tomorrow night. And Dave Roberts was asked, would you name your starting rotation for the World Series? Pay attention to this, will you, John?
I am.
So Dave Roberts says, Jack Flaherty, Game 1. Josh Yamamoto, Game 2. Walker Buehler, Game 3. Johnny Allstaff, Game 4. The media looks up. Johnny Allstaff. Yeah, bullpen day.
Right.
So you're smart. You got it.
I've heard that term before.
Okay, a lot of other guys didn't. This is going to be unbelievable. You got Judge, you got Soto, you got Stanton, you got all things Dodgers top of the batting order. You got Garrett Cole and what now appears to be 4 healthy starters for the New York rotation. You got 3 starters for the Dodgers. Couple might be unlimited innings. And then you got Johnny Allstaff. It's going to be bullpen day in Game 4. I don't know what to expect, except there will be home runs. I think the pitchers are going to get shelled in this Fall Classic. I'm just so looking forward to this, just because it's New York and it's LA, and I grew up in that environment of the Yankees and the Brooklyn Dodgers, and so I'm just so amped to see this. And then obviously the great storylines of Showtime versus Here Comes the Judge and everybody else in the batting order, and then the pitchers. So I think it's going to be a cool Fall Classic. And John Riley says,
how many MVPs are we going to see in this series? Because Mookie and Freddie and Shohei have all won MVPs. And then has Judge, Soto, and Stanton all been MVPs?
No, Stanton and Judge have.
But not Soto.
Not yet. Everybody's projected that's coming. That's coming. And he's put up some unbelievable statistics.
That's still amazing. I mean, to have that kind of star power in this. And yeah, I'm kind of over the Padres. I've gotten over it. And so as a baseball fan, this sets up really nice. 2 big time teams. This is not going to be like a, 4-game sweep. I mean, this is going to be a competitive series.
I think the sucker goes 7. And it might be a series of 7 Survivor, because I think it's going to be hard. I think both have got issues. Obviously, Dodger pitching staff has just got a huge question mark. And Yankee bullpen, to me, I don't think is all that trustworthy. That's a question mark. So this is cool. And I think the TV ratings are going to be mega in the States. And I can't imagine what the TV ratings are going to be in Japan. As we talked about last week, that 5th and final game, Padres-Dodgers, Ohtani, Yamamoto, Yu Darvish, drew 12.9 viewers in Japan. And the fact that this is Ohtani versus Judge, I think it's going to be spectacular. I mean, baseball fell into this, and this has turned out great. And I think it's made a great series.
I was listening, I think it was 97.3, and they were interviewing Brett Boone, and it was interesting. And he was talking about how they're hoping that if the Yankees have a clinching game, they can get, Brett and Aaron's dad, Bob Boone, out there to watch the game. I think that'd be pretty special.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting, because at different points of this season, get rid of Dave Roberts. At different points of the season, blame Brian Cashman and hit the eject button on Aaron Boone, because both teams went through really rocky times.
Yes.
And Friday night, they're all going to be there because they're all in the Fall Classic. And everybody else, including all the critics, it's like you and me watching it at home on TV.
Now, if there is a Game 7, I think it drifts into November, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's always kind of weird,
Especially, yeah, exactly. Although it'd be out here if there is a 7. It's a 2-3-2 series.
Okay, so hopefully no snow.
But it's going to be chippy. It's going to be nippy in New York at Yankee Stadium for Games 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, see, that's what makes the Fall Classic a Fall Classic. As the temperature changes, it's no longer the boys of summer. It just makes it just going to be a great
when I was a kid growing up, though, the Fall Classic ended first or second week of October while the leaves are still on the trees.
Okay.
We've had fall classics where there have been snow flurries and guys are bundled up in the dugout like you wouldn't believe.
I remember that happened with Cleveland, like in the mid 90s when they were in the World Series. And I thought that was just crazy.
Yeah, with the Indians. But that's the way baseball's become. I would hope we wouldn't get to a point where we get real blast cold weather that really impacts the pitchers, because the pitchers have to be able to feel the ball, hold the ball.
Right.
And so we'll see. But I at this point, I don't think the forecast for next week is going to be real bad on the Eastern Seaboard in terms of cold.
Now, this is going to be a 2-3-2.
Exactly.
So the 2-2-1-1-1, is that just something from old time days?
Yeah, and I think cross-country travel's got a lot to do with it, and the Union had some impact there. So 2-3-2 that works.
But the 2-2-1-1-1 was a lot of fun at the end.
Yeah, but boy, if you had to go back and forth 3 times in 6 days and on flights,
it'd be awful.
Yeah,
that's what makes it great.
Been there.
As a fan.
Been there, done that. Okay, World Series. You have an opinion. Fall Classic. I'm looking for baseball fans to come in. You tell us Yankees or Dodgers, who's going to win and why. I mean, we get hundreds that watch us live stream. You're watching us live stream. Jump into the chat box and just give us an opinion. Give us a 1-sentence rationale why it's going to be Dodger blue or Yankee pinstripes. Fall Classic. One baseball